In this short tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can use the Weavely Figma plugin to turn Figma designs or any content in Figma into a working web form. So let me open up the plugin already. Essentially, we have 3 frames here, which are a UX feedback survey, which we've built in Figma using a standard design kit. Another question is, how is the Weavely plugin going to help us turn this feedback survey in Figma into an actual survey that we can send out to our testing audience and have them actually fill it out and collect responses. So the plugin is really easy. Essentially allows you to do 2 things. One, selecting frames. Well, that's actually not the plugin, that's just Figma. So you select some frames that you want to turn into a form, and then you press the big old generate form button in the plugin. That's essentially it. So what Weavely is going to do is it uses AI to run through the content in your Figma designs or your Figma frames, as well as some of the theming. We'll come back to that later. And it turns it into a fillable, actionable web form. So once it's done generating the theme, which in this case is going to be very basic. So it's essentially the same copy. It's the same kind of form elements in here, but it's actionable. So this is just a simple preview with some radio buttons and some input fields. And then when we're happy, we can actually go ahead and publish this form. So let's try and publish this, and then we'll come back and we'll change the theme a bit to see how that works. So when you hit publish form, what it does is it takes you to the Weavely platform, which is an AI form builder, where you can just change the theme. So you can change the color, or you can change the layout if you want. You can add images, that sort of stuff. Or of course, you can add additional content to your survey. So for all intents and purposes, if you're used to Typeform, Google Forms, or any other, this is very similar. So you can add many different kinds of form elements. So ranging from signatures to your obvious multiple choice and single choice elements, that sort of stuff. You have logic, integrations, anything you would expect from a form builder, except that the content was just imported from your Figma design. So if I go ahead and hit the publish button on that one, and then enter this into the browser, I have my working survey from the content that I inputted in Figma. So hello world, put a slash here, press submit, and then when I look at the results, data comes in. Of course, you can also just change the theme a bit inside of Figma. So it's pretty basic. It's not to say that you can go wild on the design and have something very custom and be generated through AI, but essentially colors, fonts, that sort of stuff should be taken over by the AI and should be visible in your form. So if, for example, I add this very lovely hue of red to the background of my form and I regenerate my form, you'll see what I mean. The background is going to be red of the form as well. So as you can see, we still have the same form with largely the same content, just skip the emoji for some reason. The background is this shade of red, and then we have a contrasting, not contrasting, we have sort of a deeper accent color for our buttons and for our radio buttons, right? So nothing crazy on the design end, essentially just taking over some color codes and creating a form which is usable and fillable out of your content on one hand and your major theme guidelines on the other one. Of course, if you're just looking to build a form from scratch anyway, Weavely is just a standard form builder, but then superpowered with AI. So essentially you can upload any document you want. So it could be a PDF, could be a PowerPoint, you name it, and it will generate a form for you. So let's say I need a UX survey for a mobile app called Figma form. Press generate on that, and then it's going to generate us a form with a bunch of UX survey questions already made up for us. So here's the result. We have a UX survey generated completely for us by AI. So this sort of overview on the first page, how long should this survey take? And then we have a couple of questions that you would expect from a UX survey. So how long have you been using Figma Forms? How often do you use it? Primary reason of using it? Are you satisfied or not satisfied? So all of this is a preview, and then you can continue and tweak it in the editor as I've shown you previously with the content that we generated from Figma. So for example, here, those choices, you'll probably want to populate them. The same with all the other pages. You can then go ahead and tweak them, change the theme any way that you see fit. So whether you're generating forms from within Figma, or you can also generate forms using AI within Weavely itself.